we're gonna hop right into it. First and foremost, I want to thank you guys. I know you guys are all on. You're all on the West Coast. You're all in LA, so you guys had to get up a little early, right? And we appreciate that. And for those who are watching, welcome to the Mill Summit 2020. The Mill Summit is the region's it's one of a kind event that gathers hundreds of professionals of all ages and backgrounds. Typically, this will be in Wilmington, Delaware, at the Chase Center, but because due to COVID-19, we are virtual, which is it's all good. We're gonna keep it going right along as if we were in person. At the Mill Summit 2020, people always have an opportunity to connect, network, and learn from professionals, entrepreneurs, and it's always a good time. And we're gonna make this great. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna introduce our first panelist, Angel, Adaeze Angel Henry. She's a mom. I want to point that out first, right? She's a mom. She does a really good job. I watch all your everything that you post on Instagram, and you're very inspiring. And I love the way you take care of your son. She's an entrepreneur, a brand manager, and she also owns Hustler's Feast, as well as she's a producer, and she's a DSU, which is Delaware State University grad. Shout out to the Hornets.
I'm sorry.
All right, go Hornets.
Hornets.
Yep, go Hornets. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go next. Our panelist number 2, my guy Tony Anderson. He is a published journalist, a published model, producer. He worked for BET Breaks, Complex, NBC, Channel 1 News, The Brio, BET News. And Tony is also a Dell State graduate. Shout out to the Hornets. Hornets. HBCU in the building. All right. Moving right along, we are going to introduce my man Kofi. He is a cultural influencer. He's a journalist. He is also a graduate of the HBCU, which is Lincoln University. Yes, all right, so we HBCU in the building.
The first.
And, yeah, they said the first.
We get that. You know
yeah, I apologize. The first. And last but not least, we have Shynieka Taylor, which is a TV personality. She is currently with TMZ, correct?
Yes.
All right, TMZ. That's all the good news, man. She's a journalist as well, and she is, in addition to, she's a graduate of Delaware State University.
They.
We got Del State in the building, man.
In the building.
And what's crazy is, and I didn't even realize this, all you guys are actually in LA.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Didn't even realize it, man. As we was going through our panelists, we was like, we need some good people on the panel. And I was like, me and Malcolm was going through it, and he was like, yo, we got to get Angel. I'm like, we got to get Tone. So we was kind of like putting y'all on orders as draft picks, man. So we like to thank you guys for joining us today.
New, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Tone.
Yeah, we can hear you. Happy to be here.
Hey, what's happening, y'all?
Hey, Tony.
On my way to a casting now.
Okay.
As speak. Well, I casted it, so I'm on my way to a shoot.
Amen.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We
Get this work.
Get this
Booked and busy. You heard me?
Yes, awesome, man. So we're going to get right into it. So this panel was from the streets to the boardroom. We have seen in many cases people rise to stardom that have come from every rough street corner in America. From executives to actors to athletes to entertainers, there has been a plethora of people who have elevated to the top with sheer determination and grit. And in this new age, with social media has completely changed the way that we do business, just the way that, we do everything, the way we connect with people and interact. So this discussion, we're going to pretty much get into the depth of how social media has helped a ton of people, influencers, to disrupt the industry. All right, so we coming in and we changing the game. We changing the game. They say that sometimes you can't play by the rules. You gotta change the rules. So you guys are all you guys don't play by the rules. So I consider you guys as you just doing things unorthodox, right? So
Absolutely.
So one of the questions, and we'll start with Shynieka. I want to ask, how has social media taken your brand to the next level?
I'm glad you asked me that question because honestly, I am where I'm at because of social media. Like the way I got my job at TMZ was through social media, like period. Like I didn't go through the regular resume thingy process. So when I first moved out to LA, I was coming off of a terrible breakup, kind of basically lost everything of 9 years. But I'm a Leo. Shout out to the Leos. Birthdays on Friday.
Hey,
So we got a lot of fire in us. You know what I'm saying? So like when my breakup ended, I was in Atlanta at the time, and I was doing a lot of celebrity interviews for my own brand. I'm on the red carpet. So we decided we were gonna go to LA to help take the brand to the next level. This man that left me for another woman, and it just got crazy because we were so intertwined with our business. You know, he was my videographer. You know, he helped me come up with most of my content. So once that took out its way, and then I had no more money because of some other things going on, I just had to like rely and step out on faith and be like, you know what? I still got to do this anyway. So I went to LA and I spent my last $75 at a Dame Dash event. I would never forget this because my life changed, y'all. So I spent my last $75 at a Dame Dash event. And initially I went in there saying, yo, I'm going to book a job with Dame Dash. We're at Dame Dash Studios. He needs a correspondent. That could be you. Do your thing. But I think, you know, with the power of God or the universe, whatever y'all believe in, me just manifesting and believing in myself, it happened another route. Van Lathan from TMZ was speaking on a panel. So what I did, like the millennial that I am, was pulled out I pulled out my Instagram account on spot and was like, yo, I've been doing, at the time, my Instagram was just my work, all my interviews. Like any interview that I've ever done, that's how my Instagram was. Maybe a couple selfies, but it was mainly my work. And I pulled it out. I had like 20 seconds. You know, you only got 20 seconds when you're trying to get your point across. And ain't nobody got time to listen to a 5-minute speech. Right. So I pulled out my Instagram account and I was like, yo, I've been doing these interviews, very, very hungry. This was from my own brand, self-made. And he looked at it and he was like, you know what? You're really good. He was like, what's your email? Send him my email. TMZ called me the next day. And yo, I tell people all the time, like, yo, had I not been so focused all those years on my social media branding, I would have never not only had the time to show him my work. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're at an event, you don't got time to be pulling out sometimes the resume and people be like, oh, I want to read what's going on. Like, it's like right here, right now. And not only would I not have the time, but also just the opportunity. Because it gave me access to the world and it gave him a quick access to look at my work. So that's how I got my job at TMZ. So I'm a full advocate of aligning your social media with who you want to be. Like when somebody looks at your social media page, they should know who you are before you're even there. So like me, I want to be a talk show host. I want my own syndicated talk show. You're always going to look at my social media and within 5 seconds, you're going to know that I talk. That's how you, I forget what the quote is. It's, your mind must arrive at the destination before your life does. Like you gotta walk in who you want to be. So your social media should definitely exemplify that.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I think like branding wise, like you hit the nail on the head. Like you have to be who you want to be and walk in that light, and eventually, you know, that'll happen. And that's all about mindset. You know, so that's a really good that story is amazing. Your journey is amazing, and I'm glad you arrived.
Hey,
yes, congratulations on that.
Congratulations,
thank you so much.
So Tony, how has social media helped you in your endeavor, man? Like how has it taken you to the next level?
Well, social media has really put me in a great space in terms of creating a platform. I think that and I can speak for everybody on the panel. We came in the era where there had to have been gatekeepers. You had to work for BET, MTV, VH1, you know, CBS, NBC, you know what I mean? Yeah. Now with social media, I'm meeting people who are making millions, literally millions of dollars, and if not millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars through social media. And I'm gonna tell y'all, the person that got me on Instagram is looking at me right now, Newdy.
My man.
I was at BET and Newdy kept telling me, yo, Tone, Instagram. I said, man, I don't want to learn this shit. I done already had to learn Twitter. I had to learn Facebook, MySpace, and now I got to learn something else. I said, come on, man. And I was reluctant to get on. I said, it's just people taking pictures of their plates, and you have people who, you have people who are making serious dough. And, you know, Adaeze can talk to this because she's around people and she's working with them heavy who have made careers out of social media. And the thing is now that I'm noticing, it's no longer you go to an audition, right? And then you get your Instagram popping. Now you go to your Instagram, you get your Instagram popping, and they come looking for you. Right. So now when you have the numbers, so now it's more or less like you don't go audition anymore. Like when I was at BET, Terrence J and Roxy came in, and I'm not trying to diss them, but they were dusty. And they came in like hurt a little bit, like they looked fucked up financially. And I was too, because I was a college student, so I'm not trying to play them. But they won, they got the hairstylist, they got the wardrobe, they got the makeup, and BET built them, and you know what I mean? They put their work in, so again, I'm not trying to play them. But that was also the company. Now, what's happening is you have to do this shit on your own. Right. You have to be your own publicist. You have to be your own, or you and your homie's your publicist. You know what I mean? Like your homegirl from college is your makeup artist. You your own videographer. You your own whatever. And once you do that and you create your brand, now companies are like, okay, you know what I mean? Like now we rocking with you after you've already built the legacy, after you've already built that brand. Now they're coming and looking for you. And so to answer your question, New, what that's done is it's given me a voice, it's given me a platform, it's given me a space to say, I don't need BET or MTV or any of these other companies to do something. I can do it on my own when I feel like it at 24/7. Right. And I'm gonna tell y'all some real shit. All right, so y'all gonna laugh at me, yo. It's a porn star that I grew up watching, right, as a kid. And I seen her on my timeline. And I interviewed her in 2012. Right. She just randomly, it was at a Barack Obama rally. And I interviewed her, and halfway, the porn star, and she's one of the top OGs in the game, one of the top black women in the game. And I interviewed her.
I was like,
without a doubt, you know what I'm saying? Cinnamon Love is her name. I'm just going to put the name out there. So she's dope. And, you know, she was just so intelligent. And really what that did for me is it humanized porn. It humanized her because you see a porn star and that's just it. But she had her kids with her, and I saw her as a human and not just a person on TV. And that was 8 years ago, right? She was on my timeline, and I DM'd her, and I just want to say, yo, it was such a great thing meeting you. You were just so dope. And we just started talking, and now we're about to shoot a documentary on Black women in porn. And so just like that, with a simple DM of me just saying, hey, you know, you were really dope 8 years. She didn't even remember doing it. And she was like, but I see what you're doing. I want to shoot a documentary. I said, look, let's do it. So just like that, you know what I mean? It just made the world a smaller place. So social media is amazing. It can hurt you too. Shout out to Terry Crews. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's a lot of pros and cons. You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's yo. I mean that's important, man. I think that relationships are important, and being able to social media allow, like you said, it makes the world much smaller, and it's easier to connect. So that's a great point. So we're gonna go to Angel. Angel, how has social media helped you in taking your brand to the next level?
Man, I could probably be here all day talking about what it's done for my brand, and what it's done for me and other people that I work with. But for the most part, social media, it gave me like a job, basically. It created that path for me, and I use it as a tool. So when I first came on Instagram, it was more so for me to stay connected with people, because I moved to LA 8 years ago. So I got on Instagram probably like signed up for it probably like a year before then, but it wasn't really into it. And then when I moved to LA, I was able to like keep track of my sister. I was able to follow friends, meet people, just learning a lot about a lot of different things, on this app. Yeah. So it kind of like became a tool for me. So like if my mom or someone, or not my mom, but like if my brother or someone didn't answer the phone, I would like write a comment under their picture. I'm like, I called you. Remember, we didn't have DMs, I think, when it first came out. So I remember being like that annoying person. Or like if someone posted a picture, I'm like, oh, you just posted, but you didn't pick up my phone. Like, so it was like a tool for me, like literally. Yeah! Like, so I'm taking it back to what it meant to me. So to see it where it's at now for what I use it for, it's been such a journey, So like, when I say tool, one of my clients, she's very funny, beautiful, talented. And I was like, you know what, I see we're doing all these auditions. We're trying to reach out to people. It ain't working. Put all that shit on Instagram. Yeah. Just put it out there. Like, just put it out there and let's see what happens. 1,000 views turn into 2,000, 2,000 turn to 20,000. Like, literally grassrooting her entire career, and we use Instagram to do it. So before you know it, we're seeing people reach out, and we're seeing these big name people on Instagrams liking comments. I'm like, oh shit, we got access to this person. So it became a tool. So it was like, okay, do this. I bet you such and such is gonna see it. All right, do that. Such and such will see that too, you know? And then, you know, even when I wanted to find out about things or, you know, access certain people, the first thing I would think of is, do they have Instagram? So Instagram was a tool for me. I literally would DM people. I did a show in Africa. Future was our headliner.
I remember that.
I used Instagram to book him, believe it or not.
Wow.
I think I got this big relationship with free bands, and and like, you know, I'm so connected. Yeah, I am. But I use Instagram to get like probably kind of my contacts. So I DM'd the free bands page. No one responded. I kept deleting and sending the same message, unsending and sending until someone responded. I was like, all right, lady, what do you want? You know, they probably saw me like, oh, I never seen her do no show in Africa before. I probably went through a whole vetting process for like 6 months, not giving up. And it was because of Instagram that I got Future to do a show in Nigeria in December. So, you know, and it was crazy because he brought Lori Harvey with him. Like 2 days before the show, like that article was on social media. It was on like, what was that? Shade Room, and all the blogs just picked it up. So then we sold even more tickets like the day before. So it was just like everything just kind of like just worked out. But it was social media, the tool, the people that I connected with. Hey, follow my Instagram. I actually talk to them more on Instagram than I do on the phone or an email. So it's like, it became a tool for me. So what it actually did for me, it allowed me to present a journey. People saw me from like this one place, and now they see me in a whole nother area in my life, and the journey has taken me so far. So it's like, for me, I'm so appreciative of a platform like this, because it's now, like Tony was saying, we no longer have to rely on things like the radio and television and, you know, those other medias. We have social media, and that was the number one tool that allowed me to not only help myself, but to help other people. People come to me all the time and say, hey, how do I get my social media to do this? I give them a few tips. I, you know, show them different apps they can use. I tell them like, hey, if you're you do this kind of content, make sure it's this kind of quality. Delete this if it's no longer relevant. I understand you want people to know that you're booked and busy, but it's not relevant. You know, create a highlight or something, but just using that to kind of like, you know, be this resource for people, and it being a great tool for me, it changed my life a lot. It really did.
It's that I mean, you know, you gave away some really good tips. Like, I never thought about, I remember, you know, I was working with a clothing brand, and I was trying to get Rick Ross like some paintings, like the guy did clothing and painting, and I never thought about to delete, like even how you said, like to delete the message. Because sometimes they keep seeing it.
So it could be at the top.
Yeah, exactly. But
send it now. Now there's a thing you can unsend. I'm the DM queen. DM
is where it's at.
Period.
Direct message.
Listen, my email formats are in DMs.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, and I'll send it.
No, I think that's important. So everyone that's listening, like, please take heed, because these strategies, like, you're looking at some of the people that are in the industry, and, you know, what would work for you guys can definitely work for others. And sometimes you got to put your own spin or twist on it.
Yeah.
I think I mean, I know it works. I've done a lot of those things as well. So if you guys are
DMs too, read them.
Yes.
It's the other way around too. I'm telling you, if they had ignored my DM, and I just use that as an example because that was $1 million booking. If they had ignored me, he would have missed out on that money, all simply because of them not seeing Instagram as a tool and a great way to communicate. So,
period.
Yeah, it's the other way around too. Like, you have to use your Instagram as a tool. So if you see those requests, I've made money for my clients, people sending me DMs and me not seeing it in my main request. And I just go, let me just check and see what's happening over here. And then it's like DMs from people that I don't follow, but they got opportunities for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, here's my number, hit me up. Woo, woo, woo. You know, you gotta use that DM.
Yeah, that's very important.
It goes down in the DM.
Go down in the DM.
Goes down in the DM.
I have a before we go to Kofi, Nigeria Thomas, she has a question for you, Angel. She says, how do you manage when you know the celebs don't manage their page?
You still contact them and you tell them who you are, and then they're going to make sure that the business come across. A lot of these celebs are actually logged into their pages. So when they say that they don't manage it, more than likely they probably don't manage it, but they're definitely monitoring it. So they see what's going on. Right. You know, I can tell you, like, I'm actually maxed out on three devices right now of Instagrams that I'm logged into. And I'm maxed out because you only could do like 5 or 6. So I have to log out and go back in. And these people are still monitoring their pages, but you know, they just need someone to probably manage it and make sure that they don't do no dumb shit on their page. So excuse my language. So they gotta manage their they have people who manage it, but they're still monitoring it. If someone doesn't get back to you, then you find other ways to contact them. DM is just a tool, it's just one way, but you still have to email them. If there's a number, you still have to contact them. If you see, also there's another secret. When you go to someone's page and they follow like 50 people, contact the people that they're following.
Yes, that's the one.
Don't even worry about them answering. All right, you want to answer? All right, bet. I'm going to hit up JoJo, your cousin, who got 3,000 followers. He going to see this joint. I'm going to hit him up. And then, you know, so it's kind of like that. So you can DM people who are being, who are being followed by the celeb that you're trying to contact. That's how I got Future, because before he was following 0, and I swear this is crazy, he was following 50 people, and I screenshot all 50 pages. Because for some reason, I felt like he was going to unfollow these people. I'm like, 50 people, he might go 0 on us. Right. Next, he went 0. And I was like, what the? And then I remembered I screenshot these pages, and I went back. And I started DMing, like, different people. And then once I got an answer from Freeband, then I deleted all the other DMs that I sent out, because I didn't want to look too desperate. So you just have to remember who you... Because I'm like, yeah, she DM'd me too. Oh, you know, so you got to kind of like be strategic about it at the same time. But yeah, DM people that they're following. So if you can't get in contact with the celeb, see who they're following, see who they're engaging with. If you go to their page, you see that they like the picture or two. But okay, this has got to be someone they know and probably is on their team. DM them too. That's another way.
That's really good advice. So you guys listening, please take heed, take notes, and persistence definitely beats resistance. So you gotta keep at it.
Come on, bars.
Listen, you got to keep at it, man. I know all you guys know a thing or two about that, because you guys wouldn't be where you're at if you wasn't persistent. So Kofi, let us have it, man. So how has social media taken your brand to the next level, man? I seen you around a lot, man. I seen you doing your hosting and all that. You've been grinding for a minute, man. So let us know what how social media helped you elevate.
You put me after Shy. You put me after Angel. You put me after Tony. I don't got much more to say, boss.
No, don't do that.
You trying to get all
best for last. No.
Just playing. All right. So I would say social media, it's been my guide how to become a host. And it's also been my resume builder in a way. And I say that because I'm a first generation African to come into the States. So my parents want me to be a doctor, lawyer, so on and so forth. They want me to.
Oh my God, me too.
You know the vibes. You know the vibes.
I know the pain.
You want us to have a linear path, something that, you know, you can't blame them for that, because they want us to have a safe way to get to success. Right. But that might not resonate with how we want to have our existence. Also, I come from the state of Delaware. Coming from the state of Delaware, we have a lot of people doing great things, but for a while here, Newdy, you can resonate with that. We didn't have a roadmap, so to speak.
Yeah.
So my only roadmap to get to where I want to be, and I have a degree in finance, my only roadmap from that was God, determination, and Instagram. That's all I had. So I use social media to be my roadmap. I would see different people that were doing their thing. I would see my Terrence J's. I would see people like Tony, people like Shy, people like Angel doing their things. And I would say, okay, not that I want to be just like them, but I see that they're doing great things. So shout out to them. Let me see how I can use what's inside of me to bring that out and put that on the social media. So I would host, as Newdy said, when I first started out, I was just doing grassroots. I was just hosting from basements, hosting small events, to started hosting at universities. Lincoln University still got to touch DSU. You know, Virginia, a lot of HBCUs up and down from New York down to Florida. And, you know, I was doing that for a year and a half, 2 years. And then I was like, nah, but this isn't exactly what I want to do. I want to get to award shows. So how do I do that? So I started looking at people that were doing interviews. So I packed up my bags with $200 in my pocket, moved to Los Angeles, fought the good fight. Thought it was going to be easy to, you know, set up myself in LA. Ran out of money real quick in about 2 to 3 months. So then I was homeless. So I was homeless for about a year, and homeless, I'm not going to say it in the sense of like homeless living on the street. I got more respect than that. I was homeless in the sense of just finding different houses to stay in, or sleeping in my car, finding different houses to stay in. So it was house, car, house, car, house, car for about a year. But during that time, I was also working with Adidas as a brand ambassador, doing interviews with them. I was also working with Meta World Peace, doing interviews with him, doing interviews with Baller Alert, All Urban Central. And long story short, through me having all that on my now resume, which was my guide, which is social media, I had all that on my resume. I was able to, you know, connect with some wonderful people, and I was able to get an opportunity through my experience, through connecting with people through DMs, to work at TMZ. And, you know, it's just like social media. Once again, that was just my resume and my guide. And today I'm a freelance journalist, and I guess you could see that in my story.
Period. Period.
Yeah, I gotta definitely follow all of you guys too, because I posted the flyer, and then I was like mentioning people. I'm like, I don't think I'm that funny person who don't follow people, because, you know, like, it's just weird. But I'm gonna follow you guys. I would love to continue to see your journeys, and it's amazing.
Amen. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We all a family.
Yeah. Let's look. We all HBCU too, man. So we got.
And it has spent some time in Delaware. Now I'm not from Delaware. I'm from Jersey.
All of you, listen. Yeah, Jersey, right?
Jersey.
And Philly.
Yeah.
Angel, Philly, Philly. Yeah.
Shynieka.
So that's you know, I mean, it's good to see that, you know, in this day and age, like, you know, wait, hold on. We got. I apologize. We do have a question. We have a question from Andrew. He said, if you were to set back to zero on all social sites, what one thing would each panelist do to get back on it? If you were, so I guess they took all your followers, like everything. What would you do to get back on it?
DM.
Yeah. DM queen.
To get back on social media.
You mean like to build it back up, right?
Build it back up.
Yeah, I'll send DMs out. Follow me.
Honestly, I would really hit consistent content, because once you have something to produce, and you're not just selfieing it up, your numbers start to get crazy. And I know it looks like sometimes it's stagnant and it ain't going nowhere, but no, the people are watching. They may not be liking, but the people are watching, and eventually they all get on the ship. So I would do, if I had nothing and I just go, my first thing will be like, okay, I will be talking. Because that's something I think that it's harder to get into doing rather than starting it, if that makes any sense. So like, if you don't start out with consistent content, you might be way more hesitant to do it. And that's honestly what builds your brand, substance and content. Like nothing else. I get everybody wants to look glamorous. Yeah, I like looking glamorous. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, my numbers rack up when I have something to say. I'm serious.
Or to showcase something to sell. Starting from the bottom, if it was still social media, I mean, it wouldn't be hard for us to get our followers back, because people would be like, oh, what happened to your page? And they were just like she said, once you build your brand, you get to a certain point, it's kind of easy for people to, like, you know, want to keep track and be a part of your life and wondering what happened to you, you know? So it wouldn't be hard. And I feel like just being active and, like she said, putting content out and being consistent. Like, there's people who would literally put out amazing content and you won't hear from them for 2 weeks. And it becomes discouraging, because you're almost like, what the hell? And that pressure on them, you know, because you're like, why aren't you putting stuff out? And then could you imagine like a person with a lot of followers, like 1 million followers, then they put something out once in a while, you're not going to want to continue that journey, because you're wondering.
Alrighty.
There's not doing anything. No, the rest of it.
Awesome.
Hey, what's going on?
That's Tony. Tony, come on now.
So that would be my answer for that. You know.
Yeah. So
I got one real quick.
Yep.
I just think it's a lot easier to start from ground zero, because as a creative, starting from ground zero a lot with your social media, meaning that you're recreating your brand a lot. So if you start from ground zero, you recreate your brand and you have your brand more aligned with your social media, which your social media should be telling a story that aligns more with your brand, then it's going to be easy for you to come right back up.
Right. It's like it's no brainer. Yeah.
Nah, that's a valid answer. I think that, you know, your brand is everything. A lot of times people don't take that, like your brand being consistent, like your image. I think image is very important. What you say is very important. What you don't say is very important. I think a lot of times, you know, people, they like to, you know, walk a tightrope in terms of, like, you know, I know, like Tony, you know, like I love my man Tony. Like when it comes to conversation, he speaks his mind, right? He knows his brand. I think a lot of times people don't, you know, they're afraid of what people think about them. So I think that's important, knowing who you are and knowing your brand, and people, they can identify with authenticity. So if you're authentic and you lose your praise and people like you, they love you for who you are, not for, you know, who you're trying to be. I need to see, yo, what happened to Tony Page? What happened to Angel? Where's Kofi at? Where's Shynieka?
Exactly.
I think that's very important.
Yeah, branding is super important. It is. I mean, I can't even tell you the amount of things that my red hair has saved me on. Like,
yes.
And they were like, I know you from somewhere. And I'm like, no, you don't. And they're like, your hair. No, I know you. And then, like, it got me into rooms, conversations, cutting lines in front of people, and now I'm looking important, all because of my brand. Just me kind of looking the same all the time. So it's kind of like consistency is important, you know?
Now that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
I do have I have a question for Tony. So I seen an interview. The late great Kobe Bryant.
Hold on, Newdy. I'm doing a call, but guess what? I have the head wardrobe person here. I put you on the spot. What's your name? Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine.
We all gloved up. We gotta wear masks. So this is the new normal. Jasmine, I'm sorry, I gotta put my mask on. So y'all get to see me at work. Jasmine is taking care of me. Before I go on set, that's my clothes, and she's gonna hook me up. So I'm sorry. So y'all go ahead. Ask
This
me the
man
question.
is the definition of Hollywood, y'all.
Facts. I'm definitely Hollywood.
If y'all caught me at noon, y'all my son's been on the Zoom with us.
So y'all go ahead. I'm gonna come right back. I just got to holler at Jasmine.
Okay. No. Do you think so? I'm gonna go on to
his light skin ass.
Okay, he's so light skin.
Ain't he? So listen. So I have a question for you, Angel. I think that I remember when that whole Future thing went down to when you did that concert over in Africa. So I really wanted to kind of, I don't think people understand how huge that is. Like it's one thing to do something in the States. Like we also do events, and we've done like small concert in events, and that the production and just you know trying to put everything together, like that's, I don't even want to think about it.
It gives me goosebumps right now thinking about that journey.
What was that experience like? Like how, like
it felt like every part of that journey it took 8 months in total. It felt like every part of that journey, I was one mistake away from fucking it up. Like legit, because when you're a woman, and it's like people always try to say, oh, we're equal. No, women are not equal to men. I'm saying this from experience. We are not. Women, we have our own gifts. We are gifted. We're blessed. We are who we are. If anything, we're probably even smarter. We're not equal. Men have their own thing going on, and I don't want to be them. Women, we have our own thing going on, and I love being a woman.
Preach.
So I was always reminded how much of a woman I was and had to be to really get this deal and to try to pull it off. Like I had to be very respectful. I had to monitor my temperament. I had to, and then there's this angry Black woman stigma with a woman like me. You know, I'm actually a very calm person, but if you don't know me and you just look at me, you're gonna automatically label me as angry and Black because I'm a businesswoman. So it's so hard to ignore that. If that makes sense. Like you can't even ignore it.
Makes perfect sense.
They look at people like me or Shynieka, or they see us, we have drive, or ambitious, and they want to put something negative on it, like, oh, you're doing too much, you're pushy, you're this, you're that. So I was constantly reminded of that in this throughout that journey. And when I, like, for instance, when I had to, the deal could have been done in 4 months, and I'd have been just waiting. But the first 4 months, I was being basically like vetted and scrutinized, and whether I was, you know, the person to do this job or not. Who are you? Why are you trying to book Future? You know, so it was kind of like that thing that was happening. And when it finally got on the role where I was end up communicating with Future's mom, it was like a relief. You know, now I'm dealing with another woman.
Yeah.
So Jay, you know, her name's Miss J. Miss J, she was basically like, you know, communicating with me. We're like friends now, but you know, then she also had to kind of like make sure she wouldn't disappoint her son, and was just asking for certain things and certain questions, and you know, proof of funds. And the woman that I was dealing with in Nigeria was head of the production here, so it was a lot of women actually involved.
Wow.
But to that point, we had to go through a lot of hating ass, I don't want to say the N-word, but guys that just were just so mad that it wasn't their opportunity, if that makes sense. Like I had to pay a lot of people off. Like I walked away with a lot less money than I should have, because I'm a woman of my word, and I had to make a lot of promises and paying people out of my pocket, not even out of my client's pocket, you know, just to make sure these things went through it, because relationships meant so much more. I mean, I'm talking about paying one person $10,000. Then to make sure that they could monitor and tell me what's going on in Atlanta, to make sure that they got the contract and it was signed. Just little stuff that I think I would agree, but it's not like that in this game. So it's like, for that, if I was, you know, even to the point, if people always ask me, do you have a picture with Future? No, I don't got no picture with Future. I didn't get a picture. I was called a groupie for me and my business partner, a woman who put up $1 million to take a picture of this man. And his cousin, AKA road manager, said, oh, you stop being a groupie, queen. Like, you being a groupie. And I was like, are you serious? I said, this request was in the contract.
Right.
I have a picture after the show. I understand he wants to go to the room with Lori and things like that, but he's not there yet. So this was in the contract.
Right.
And so abide by it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't respected. It wasn't whatever. And I don't know if he wanted to think with me, but I wasn't giving him no thing. So whatever that probably tension.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
I got to deal
so
with
it became it was a lot of blockage through him, you know, and then he probably got whiff of me paying other people and thought that he was owed something too. You work for Future. Why should I pay you as well? Right. So it was like that. I mean, the only good thing that happened was Future hitting the stage and giving us an extra 45 minutes. The entire experience was fucking terrible.
Wow.
So that's why I don't talk about it. I don't even like listening to Future's music. And I
thought I was going to get like, yo, man, it was sold out. They went crazy. Like I thought I was going to
no, because I have an ending to this, you know. But the experience was terrible. You're dealing with a whole bunch of hood Atlanta niggas. Like that's just what you're dealing with. And if you're dealing with them with a lot of money, they have a lot of ego. There's a lot of things going on. They don't want to listen to a young woman, because I'm half Nigerian, half Jamaican. So I was already dealing with that in Nigeria, you know, not being Nigerian enough, not being, you know, I was being a kata. That's like a word for Americanized, you know? So they were calling me a kata and all this crazy shit. And I'm a woman too, running things. And a few people respected, but a lot didn't. So I was dealing with that other end of it, getting screamed at by people I didn't even know. And I'm just like, I just can't wait to get to the States. Like that was my entire, like my hotel experience was nice, where I stayed was nice, how I was treated, like my car service, all that stuff. But everything else was fucking terrible.
But you know what? Yeah, but that's I think what's good about this is a lot of times we always hear the glitz and the glam, and you know, and doing business, especially I you know, being a woman, not just a woman but a Black woman at that. I know that is, you know, very tough, because a lot of, you know, that industry is male dominant. It's dominated by men. Yeah, so it's kind of like to see a Black woman to come in and demand one, respect, right? Because that's what, you know, number one, forget all the money, you're gonna respect me, right? So you demand your respect, And a lot of people can't handle that. They used to, weak-minded people that would just say, okay, that's he's a celebrity, and I'm just going to do whatever. But I love that perspective, because a lot of times we don't get to hear that.
I want to keep it real with
keep it. Yeah, no, listen, we want to absolutely,
because here's the thing.
Absolutely.
The thing is, and I'm going to get to the good part. You do all of this just to get to that final destination. So I have a GPS mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, and this is why it looks so easy from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm doing things with other people and we get through it and it's done. But I have a GPS mindset where it's like, I put whatever I'm doing, the final destination, in my GPS, and I focus on it. I don't care how I'm gonna get there. If I gotta jump hoops, swim across the ocean, somebody gotta spit in my face, gotta disrespect me, whatever the case might be, and I just pray about it and move on.
Yep. That's
gonna happen. But then what the end result was, and I focused on it, and I swear, when I got the request to do the booking back last February, and it was a December booking, you have to understand, I pictured Future on that stage. So everything that was not him being on that stage, I ignored. Oh, you want to call me a groupie? Okay, bet, whatever.
Right.
But guess what? He got that wire transfer. Yeah, the groupie did that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you have to look at just the end result, no matter what. And it's like, that was my GPS. So when he hit that stage, it wasn't even like, I was surprised. I was like, about time. Because that was my manifestation.
Right.
I put that in the universe. I knew that was going to come to pass. So when it was doing all this stuff, even the times when everyone else was kind of like nervous about it not happening, it was like, in my mind, I'm like, it's going to happen. I'm like, I know it looked like it's not right now, but it's going to. Future missed his flight, dog. He missed his flight, meaning he missed his press, the day of press. So you have to understand to have that kind of mindset, knowing that even through all this, you're still like, it's gonna happen. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like he comes the next day, we have to go to the airport, and it's like all this stuff. Now we have fucking 16 hours before showtime, and he ended up not getting on stage till 1 a.m. You still got to think it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
For everyone watching, if you think the road to success or your destination is somewhere that you're gonna just be like, oh, I'm gonna land here and I'm happy. That is not what happened. Everyone on this summit and on this panel knows it looks the total opposite before you get to your final destination. We all have to get to our destinations. Maybe our route, maybe our path is all different, which usually it is. And it's gonna be like that. You're gonna bump in some roads, you're gonna have some U-turns, you're gonna have some issues, you're gonna have the times where you cry, you wanna give up. You're gonna have times where you're gonna be like, oh my God, is this my life? But then it is your life. And then you're gonna get through it. And you're gonna get to your final destination. You're gonna be like, damn, I could do this 100 more times. Mm-hmm. So that's the life. And that was like my biggest test to my mindset when I did that Future show. And it worked. And I'm happy.
There you go.
And he got on that stage and he loved it. And I saw him post like after like a month or later, after he was in Jamaica or whatever, he posted like pictures from Nigeria. And I'm just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? It was a part of his memory bank. So
that's a big deal.
Yeah. So for everyone watching, you cannot give up when it gets rough, when it looks weird, when it feels uncomfortable, when it feels like it's not going to happen, when it feels like, this is not for me. It is for you. And this is why you're being tested. Yeah. So pass. You know?
Listen, so what I'm going to do is we got 15 minutes. I want to hear from Kofi, Shynieka, and Tony. So try to like 3 minutes or so, and then I have one more question for you guys as a collective. So Tony, I do want to get back to you now that you're back. I remember watching this interview. I mean, I remember watching your highlight reel when we was at Del State. I remember us just doing a lot of things as we were coming up. But this one particular interview that I watched, and it really spoke to me. You had this interview with the late, great Kofi Bryant, right? Can you tell us about that interview? It was something that when I seen your post, it was something that you said that really, it spoke to me, because I'm like, like just the humility of it. And when we talk about being consistent, you know, I think it's important for our viewers, everyone that's watching, to know what you said and how that interview came about.
For sure. Well, my fellow DSU sister just talked about it in terms of the industry not being what you think it is. And so people think that this is a true story. People think that I just call Kobe up like, yo, Kobe, you know what I mean? Yo, just get the interview. It don't work that
Yo,
way.
go. Yes.
Yo, go. Yo, OG, it's your boy, Young Anderson. It don't work that way. And I'm talking about even amongst celebrities, right? Because what people don't realize is that it's a status even among celebrities. So like,
yeah.
I noticed this when I went to Made in America, like Wale can't just come up to Jay-Z. Like you would think that's the case, but like security will escort him out the way. So even amongst celebrities, it's still a food chain. Yeah. It's levels. That's real. So
I've seen that.
I say all that to say, I always wanted to interview Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest players to me who ever played. And what I was realizing is, just as my fellow DSU sister said, you just got to go for it. People call you a groupie, people call you whatever, so what? The worst people can say is no. And in our field, and I speak for all of the other 3 people on this panel, and including Newdy, hustlers don't take no. Yep. We just figure we got to ask a different way. We don't believe in no. And so what I found is you don't talk to the artist, right? Because the artist flees you. You talk to the publicist or whomever, and that's how you get the interview.
Yeah.
So I randomly just interviewed Kobe Bryant's agent, found his agent, and DM'd him. So Pete, Kobe had just, like, he was recovering from that case. You understand what I'm saying? I know he wanted good PR. This is a true story how this came about. My dad watched Channel 6 News every day in Philadelphia, and he saw that Kobe had donated money to a school in Philly. And my dad said, hey, Tony, you should do an article on this, a story on this. So I hit his people up, and I said, I know they want good press. It's 106 in Park. They would do it right now. Let me just see if I can do it. And I hit his people up. He said, okay. Like that.
Just like that.
Yo, but for those who don't know, I'm a one-man band journalist, so I got to shoot, edit, write, and produce all my own stuff. Yep. So my man Kyle Williams, he passed away. He was a twin at Dell State.
Yep.
He good dude. Good. There's very few people in this industry are good people. A lot of them are assholes. Because the industry, I think, kind of makes people assholes. It brings the asshole out of them.
And they feel like because they suffer, you need to suffer too. I hate that.
Facts. A lot of hate. Kyle was not one of those dudes. He is a good dude. My homegirl, Aisha Patrice, she didn't even work in TV. I had them as my camera people. I went to Sephora and got my makeup. So I went to, if you go to Sephora, if you tell them, this is a true story. I went to Sephora and I told them I'm interested in some stuff. And they gave me a whole face beat to the gods, as the women say. Had the whole face done. And I didn't have to pay for it.
Light skin is coming out. It's coming out.
I'm brown now. Don't get it twisted. So had that done. Yo, I bought a $500-$600 watch, kept my receipt, bought clothes, I returned all that shit. I swear to God, I'm a bird. I'm a bird. So yo, had fresh gear, you know what I'm saying? Went to the practice facility, yo, Ice Cube is there. You know what I mean? We just doing stuff. So Kobe came out and it was like a god had come out the room. Yo, media was like attacking him. It was just like Prince was like with the aura and everything. And he was mad humble.
Like he floated in the room, right?
He floated in the room.
He walked on water.
He walked on water and came over, yo. And I swear to God. So, yo, what people don't realize is I'm getting Ubers for everybody out my own pocket. These camera people, I was supposed to do it myself. I just had my 2 homies do it for me. They don't know how to shoot. And I had to edit it. So some of the stuff was shaky. If you look at the footage, it don't look that great because we ain't really know what we were doing. Yeah. Mind you, this is what people got to realize. We're all kids doing this. It's NBC, ABC, ESPN with the big cameras. Yep. And then it's us. And we were the only people to get the interview. And the thing Kobe told me, and I can send all this over, I want to say it. He said, if it's something that you want in life, you attack it. And I remember that vividly. And then he taught me how to shoot. I got that moment from Kobe. And the last story that I've covered since the pandemic was Kobe's memorial. Wow. I went to Kobe's funeral / memorial at the Staples Center. Yeah. This is my first shoot. Y'all got a chance to see. I'm literally at the waiting room now, waiting to go downstairs. That's why I've been in and out. Literally, this is my first shoot, and we're in August since then. So I know I'm a little bit more than 3 minutes. My apologies, y'all. But just to answer your question, Newdy, people really don't understand what it takes in this. And I want to finish this. I want to say this really quickly. Make sure y'all have your money right. You do not want to be, this is how people get fucked in this industry, is when their money ain't right. Yeah. And artists get fucked. Make sure your money is right, even if you got to get a job outside of this, so you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do here. Make sure your money's right, keep the bills low. That's why I returned all of that shit. You understand what I'm saying? Be on, you feel me? So make sure your money's right, so you don't have to compromise and sell yourself. You feel me? Thank you so much.
Come on, man. Yeah, so drop the mic, man. Drop the mic.
So I got my coach. So I gotta go, man. But I got my clothes in here, man.
Yo, Tone, thank you. Yeah, nah, I appreciate you, man. Good luck, man. I hit you on the flip side. So that's oh man, that's amazing, man. So we got about 8 minutes. So Shynieka, I wanna go to you in terms of like even when like being a woman and working in this industry with TMZ, you're around a plethora of, you know, celebrities, and I see you on the tour bus, you're doing all these different things. How has it been? Like, how was that experience? You working, being a Black woman and being a woman, like in the male-dominated industry. Once again, like how has like what is that experience like? How have you overcame that?
I think for one, you got to know who you are, and right. I think a lot of times people get messed up because a lot of people say they want to be on TV. A lot of people going to tell you, y'all, I'm a host. But if you ain't got nothing to say, then it's going to be way more harder than you, way more harder for you. Right. For me personally, like, I'm the same person. My people will tell you in front of the camera and behind the camera. There really ain't no facade to it. Like how I speak, like when I'm with my friends is how I speak on camera. So I kind of know who I am. I know who I am. So when you get into these rooms, these male dominated rooms, for me personally, just from being a Black person, right. You know, this is where the struggle, you benefit more from being from the struggle than being privileged. Being Black in America teaches you that you have to elevate by any means necessary. You're fighting oppression, you're fighting, and being a woman, I'm fighting being a woman, I'm fighting being Black. All these things, you know, I didn't come up with money like that. You know what I'm saying? I might not have been struggling. I mean, I've experienced homeless before, but it's called the lower income community for a reason. Like, so when you come up in that type of environment, it all prepares you for this entertainment industry. So once I got to this male dominated field, I'm like, well, I come from the bottom, so there's nowhere else I can go but up. Right. So now that I know who I am and I got in the field, honestly, it's cakewalk to me. I don't even think about it. Me having a voice, I mean, I'm like, I had to fight to have a voice all my life. So once I got here, I'm like, this ain't nothing new, you know? So you just want to know who you are and kind of know your mission and purpose. Honestly, doing it's light work to me. Like I said, just being around celebrities itself, they're regular people just like you and I. But I love what Queen said when she says GPS mindset, because that is real life. I'm focused on having my own syndicated talk show. So the glam, the freaking celebrities, everything, y'all can have it all. Yeah. I'm trying to get the talk show. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a flip. Like, when people would tell you, like, yeah, I might stunt a little bit on social media, but that's after the deal has already been made and sealed. I don't care about nobody's selfie. Yep. I don't care about none of that. I care about, in this business, building and maintaining that relationship, because that is the most important thing. People will move for you based upon if they have a relationship, whether you're talented or not. You know, somebody said it best, like, you don't got to be loved. All you do is got to be liked. When somebody likes you, it's a wrap. They'll move mountains for you. You know, so I try to focus on that in this industry. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, TMZ, you know, it's a little, Kofi,
Kofi over there too,
it's cutthroat. You know what I'm saying? Only the strong will survive. But because I come from the bottom, it has prepared me. I feel like, honestly, I'm the best candidate there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm standing I come from being homeless. You know, I remember walking and having holes in my shoes. Like, my homegirl had to tell me,
humble beginnings.
Remember when we used to scrape chains to get fries? To get fries, we were scraping chains. And I was like, yo, I do remember that. And it's just like, so when you get into these atmospheres, it's like, if God can elevate me to be on the same platform with people who had a way more head start. You know what I'm saying? Not only are y'all privileged, y'all had money, you had a team, and I'm standing right here next to you. None of y'all can stop me. I got a goal here, and I'm getting there. So honestly, knowing who you are is key. No matter what you do, I don't care if you want to be a teacher. I don't care if you want to be the president of the United States of America. If you know your purpose and you walk in it, nobody can stop you.
That is. Listen, that I hope you guys are taking notes like that. Like, wow, I'm truly inspired, man. I think the struggle it makes us who we are, right?
Absolutely.
And so we only got like a couple minutes. So Kofi, look, listen.
Oh man,
I seen and I watched a lot of your like you've been so consistent in terms of your morning cups of coffee and your spill the beans on Instagram, weekly motivating people and giving them updates.
He think he Diddy. He go outside in a robe. He think he Diddy.
Yeah. I'm not Diddy.
I love it. I'm gonna follow him.
You follow him. So look, so real quick, so your one episode in particular, like you talked about your trials and tribulations. Like you did talk about you being the homeless part. And like you literally came, from the streets to the boardroom, right? Can you tell the viewers what that experience was like and how you overcame those obstacles, even you being on TMZ as well? Like, can you kind of give us a little insight on that?
Oh man, from the streets to the boardroom, from being homeless, it's just, I think everybody touched on it. Like Angel said it best, like the GPS mindset. It didn't matter what pallet I was sleeping on. It didn't matter if I was sleeping on the floor. It didn't matter if all I had to eat was 7-Eleven pizza. Like I was going to get to TMZ, but TMZ was never the destination because I knew who I was. Like before any of you, like before you say, I want to be a journalist, I want to be a doctor, lawyer, it doesn't matter what you want to be. Like Shynieka said, you got to know who you are. Beyonce said it in Black is King 1,000 times because it's so important. If you know who you are, then you will always get to your destination, because being homeless, being almost robbed, being, almost shot in the streets of LA in the middle of the night and not having nobody, things like that could have stopped anybody. But because I know who I am and I know that my purpose is to inspire a generation, my purpose is to end cynicism, my purpose is to, break barriers in media, that driving force, not the TV, not the standing next to the celebrity, not the being a host of the Oscars, but the purpose behind it all. That pushed me through that. So I know we only got a few minutes, but just like that pushed me through everything, all of my experiences to where I am today.
Nah, that's listen, man, I think that this was definitely needed. I think that, us being from the communities that we are brought up from, what shapes us are our experiences, and we've been through a lot. And I think we are always qualified to be in any room because we know what it's like to be at the bottom, and we know what it's like to struggle. And that struggle makes us who we are. And I think that that's very important. Once you know who you are, no one can tell you any different. If you're consistent and you keep it going, nobody can stop you. So like the things that you guys spoke about, I think it's important for everyone to hear that's on the journey, that's been there. The people that can relate, they saying like, y'all on it. And us, still, somewhat in regards to us still being young and us going through the motions, being millennials, I think that we are qualified to lead this nation in, what it is to be. And I think that, I tip my hat off to you guys, man, and keep doing what you guys are doing. Go ahead.
Before you wrap up, Newdy, though, I gotta say one thing too, because I think a lot of times this generation, especially millennials, this whole little independent mindset, I don't need nobody. I feel like it's misconstrued. And I just want to make things clear that you will need a team. Yes. No matter who you are. I like to be Superwoman, but I understand I can't do it all. You know what I mean? And I just want to touch on relationship building because it really is key. I'm talking about authentic, not being an opportunist about what I can take, but how can you really basically the seeds you sow, you reap. So how can I give so that, I'm blessed as well? And I can say just from like Kofi in general, when I tell y'all, I've been in LA and my car has broken down. Kofi has seen me break down and cry. Anytime I called him, like, I am stuck. This man has came. If it had not been for Kofi, I say all the time, I don't know how much I could have took this whole LA struggle thing. Every time I called this man, he has came. Like whether it was an hour out, 2 hours out, 2 in the morning, yo, my sister's stuck, I'm coming. And I can honestly say that comes from just being great people and building relationships.
Correct.
It all comes apart, because had he not came to my, you know, to my survival at that point in time, I maybe missed work the next day. So it all counted. It all counted to my journey. So when you're building great relationships and you're being a great person and you're pouring into people, it helps you along the journey to become more successful, because these are resources that you need as well. People think money is the only resource. No, sometimes you're going to need a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on. This industry is brutal. You know, sometimes somebody's going to have to pay for your food, or somebody might have to help you with your car and jump it right quick. But if you are always, you know, I don't like people and I'm going to do this all on my own, you won't get far. So practice on building authentic relationships. And you don't always got to be up. You don't always got to find the Oprahs of the world. The people that are right around you hustling and grinding, for sure, they will be on top one day. And you're going to just see it, you know? So who would have ever thought that from Delaware, well, we all spend time in Delaware, that I'll be on the same platform with a brother that is from Delaware. We're on the grind. Grinders are going to end up
grinding the energy, man. The energy is real.
Yeah.
And just you guys got, and we still on. You got any last remarks or closing words, Angel?
No, I was just saying the GPS mindset. Like, I honestly, that's like a top secret for me. You know, like once you realize and you know yourself, you know where you're going, you won't even get angry at people. Like, I see people messing opportunities all the time, arguing and cursing people out, and I'm like, that's a part of it. They're supposed to disrupt you, but you can't feed into it. You have to just keep on going. So the GPS mindset will basically make you laugh when your account is overdraft. You will laugh when you don't got gas money. You will laugh when your rent's late. You be like, this ain't my life, okay? And I know where I'm going. So it's like GPS mindset just kind of reminds you of things, and it puts you in a place where nothing bothers you. No struggle in the world can bother you. So just keep that GPS mindset, and you're gonna see how far and the great things you're gonna attract in life.
Facts.
Kofi, what you got for us, man?
I mean, Shy, thank you for the shout out, but you know, you would do the same for me and have done that and more for me. So I just want to say thank you for being a real sister. And like, real brotherhood and real sisterhood and real relationships say real things and do real things. Shynieka, me and her met at TMZ, through TMZ, work with TMZ. And my sister is on Quibi right now, killing it.
Oh, yeah, you are on Quibi. I forgot about that. Yes.
It's okay.
You do some great things, man.
But now she's on Quibi right now, killing it. Keep in mind, somewhere along our GPS, we met and we on that same journey.
Right.
I got furloughed from TMZ, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna say, oh, nah, forget it. I'm not going to keep in contact with my sis because she got an opportunity and I didn't get an opportunity. No, at the end of the day, we have a GPS and we are both going to get to our destinations. And I still got to cheerlead and I still got to shout out my family while she's shining in that area.
Journey.
When you know who you are, then what doesn't happen for you, you know, it may not have been for you, but it was for your family members. So continue to shout out and shine light there and continue to make sure that you know you're going to get to your destination. You know, God has kept me afloat.
Amen.
Shining. God is keeping Angel shining. God is keeping Newdy shining. God is keeping Tony shining. But that means that while you were along your journey, somebody needs to hear this. You need to keep God first. You need to know yourself. You need to do therapy. Don't shy away from that. And you stay true to your GPS. Don't let anything that says, oh, this no is going to take you off your GPS, because thankfully I was at TMZ and I felt like, I know Newdy wanted to touch on this before when we were talking yesterday. When I was at TMZ, like, I was inspired by Shy because Shy was being herself this entire time when we were on TV every single time. Me, myself, I felt like I had to conform to some type of facade in order to get on TV. I felt like I had to conform in order to be that face on this TV show. And that was never what I had to do. So me getting below from TMZ allowed me the opportunity to refine who Kofi is and why I'm a journalist in the first place. And that led to the opportunities that I am at today, which is now a journalist for Atlanta Black Star, doing things for Black people, doing things for people of color.
Amen.
And that's the realm that I want to be in. Now that's a start along the journey, but that's just to say that, you know, God may say no to you, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to feed you and keep you fed along your entire journey. So make sure you keep growing, make sure you keep glowing, and understand that God will never leave you starving, and he will always That's it.
Right.
Yo, I don't even want to end this now. I probably want to go for another like 5 minutes if y'all still want to stick around, man. Because I think this is so powerful because we need, like oftentimes we don't have, us, to talk about the things, the struggles, right? Like a lot of times I say people see all the glitz and the glam, but they never see the struggle. And I never want to, sell anyone a dream that, this is all great. And if you do this is going to happen. But like you said, like the GPS, there's so many winds and turns, like you might accidentally almost fall off a cliff, but if you stay the course, you'll get to your destination. I think that like the things that you guys are speaking about, even as me being an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur all my life, right? Like I had, I always tell people, I never mind working. I just never wanted the job. I never wanted to work for anyone else. And there's nothing wrong with that. But me personally, I like the freedom. I like to be able to, I have a daughter that's now 8, just turned 8. I want to go to all her doctor's appointments. I want to go to all her graduations. I want to do everything that if I want to say, I'm going to stop and put this on pause. And I want to do, what I want to do, knowing the mentality I still have is being an entrepreneur, I work 16-hour days. But I can also take a break and not work, for 3 or 4 days if I choose. But I think it's important that, we do talk about when you talk about Kofi, mental health. I think mental health is very important. Like a lot of times, we're running around here with different issues from our past that we never gotten over, and we're being entrepreneurs, we're running out here and we're laughing and everything's not okay. So I think that's also good for us to talk about, like, let's talk about our mental health. Like we are all going through things, like no one is exempt.
Yeah, we're all.
And no one, I don't care how much money you have, at the end of the day, like you're not exempt from, from these different things. So like what you guys are talking about is it's necessary, even, what's going on in America and just around the world with, not just COVID-19, but with the George Floyds and the Breonna Taylors, like all these things that are going on. We more now than ever, we need to come together and, we can make, I feel like the millennials and, you got the Gen Z or Gen X?
Generation Z.
ABs, like all that stuff going on. But I feel like we have to bridge the gap in order to make the world that in which we want to see. We got to come together and we have to talk about these things. We got to work together. Teamwork makes a dream work. Many hands make a dream, right? So I don't want to end this conversation. I think I just text Charlie and Sarah. They said we got a couple more minutes, man. So I want to let's keep going a little bit until they tell me to stop. We're gonna keep it moving. So how has COVID-19 and just the whole
I was just about to say COVID-19 really impacted me in a major way, and I want to share this with a lot of people because especially a lot of people don't understand financial literacy the way they should. It's very important to understand your credit. It's very important to understand like what kind of consumer you are. It's very important to understand what cash means versus credit. A lot of times people think, I got this much cash, so I'm good. No, you're not. You're not good. It's actually important to know how strong and how, because for entrepreneurship, it's helped me a lot to have good credit. Mm-hmm. So, and it's not, if you have bad credit, it's not too late. You can, monitor it, figure out what you need to fix, what you need to dispute. It's I don't want to be discouraging. It's something that can be done. You can fix it. You can get to the next level in a bracket of whatever spectrum you're looking at. If you're in the 600s, you can get in the 7. If you're in the 500s, you get in the 6. But basically what I'm saying is for everyone watching, even us, everyone on this panel, financial literacy is the number one thing. And this pandemic really taught me how important credit was, because I was actually able to make a lot of moves and do a lot of things with my business and my personal credit, because I had to build that too. So I'm actually building that right now. So, that I also trade. I'm every morning I wake up, I'm on the, I'm looking at stock market, and I'm on, market. Yeah, and I'm reading the news, and there's things that we won't know unless you go looking for it or if you're part of those platforms. So I'm watching, you know, I'm learning about like Apple splitting at the end of the month.
Yeah, it's splitting the 4, right? I see. Yes, I have a couple of shares of Apple right now.
I bought some more, you know, on Friday, and I'm gonna buy some more again this week. My birthday just passed. Everyone's like, "What do you want?" This guy was like, "Oh, I can buy you back." I said, "Listen, if you can fund my E-Trade account."
Wait, when was your birthday?
July 30th.
Happy belated. Happy belated.
This is a Leo joint.
I'm a Leo.
Wait, look, my daughter's birthday was the 27th, man. So I'm at the
my birthday's Friday. Woo!
Oh,
Leos. So, you know, look, all I'm saying is get your financials in order, man. And
period.
If you don't know much about stocks, read. That's all it is. It's just jargon. It's just language that we don't understand. So go look at the dictionary and figure out what's going on in the different trading platforms and see what's best to invest in. And I made $600 on Mara this morning, you know?
We got to talk after this. Like we definitely we gonna talk.
I really need your information.
Yeah, we gonna talk.
Yeah,
so what do you say?
Guys,
we gonna loop it in. We gonna loop it in.
I Shynieka and Kofi, but yeah, that's my extra push I want to put out there. I always encourage people, young, old, whatever, to just make sure that they're financially strong, because you can be like the rest of these people, driving these nice cars, living in these lavish lifestyles because of good credit. It's not cash.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
I think COVID, you know, I'm going to take a different approach. I'm like a runner and a gunner. I think about my work and my job 24/7. You have to have that type of focus though when you're asking for things that aren't average. When you want, like you can't have an average mindset if you want to live above average. I tell the people all the time, it requires something different. So you got to do a little bit more. So because I'm always in my everyday, in my affirmations, like, yo, how can I get on top? What this COVID did make me sit down and realize is going back on just self-love and self-help is everything, because I found myself, you know, in COVID looking at my 4 walls, because, you know, they called us out of studio and we shoot in the house now, saying like, not saying I'm really lonely because my family's all the way in Jersey and I always got my loved ones and friends, but it just had me really thinking like, you need to sometimes stop and smell the roses.
Mm-hmm.
Like this generation, I get it that everybody wants to be a millionaire and a 1%, but that's not all it is to life. Yeah. And I want to just be key on that I feel like you have to find something that's not superficial, mm-hmm. that you live for. Mm-hmm. You know, one thing about me, I live for family. I love love. Like I'm a lover. I love social interaction. I love people. I love humanity. And what I saw when COVID happened was like, when the pandemic happened, I was just like, not saying what happened to the old me. It was just like, you were so consumed with your work that you didn't even know what to do once work was pulled from you. I almost lost my mind. And it wasn't because I wasn't making any money, because thank God, you know, my job kept the money flowing, but it was just for the simple fact that I felt empty. And you can't serve people empty. You can't. Yep. So at that point, you know, now, you know, from this whole pandemic, I find myself reaching out to people way more than I've ever did in life. You know what I'm saying? Not so being caught up in myself, because, you know, I don't have children, I don't got no man, so I just be by myself. But how can you serve others? Because it's a part of my purpose as well. Yeah. And when I see myself, I'm doing that, I'm taking care of my health because I'm happier. I smile brighter. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all can tell, my skin is glowing more. But that all comes from the Father allowing me to realize that there's something else more to life than just the 1% or trying to get above. You know what I mean? We got to take care of ourselves, because at the end of the day, you know, we live and we die. And if you were to die today, you have to look, what does my legacy call for? What are the people are going to remember me for? And that's what COVID made me realize, that, you know what, it's bigger than just a dollar in my pocket or trying to get to an extra dollar in my pocket. I want people to be able to, you know, figure out that, yo, Nika, at the end of the day, by any means necessary, she loved her people. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that everyone feels loved after dealing with me anyway.
Love is love, man. Love is all. Love I feel all the love, man. I feel all the love. Kofi, we're gonna end with you, man. We're gonna how has COVID affected you, man, and all the, you know, however you want to call it, COVID-19, COVID, coronavirus, like, you know, how has it affected you, man?
The issue's real, but coronavirus, man. I think I kind of answered that on my tangent a little earlier. Coronavirus just gave me the opportunity to like really sit. The same opportunity that it gave America, the same opportunity that it gave a lot of us celebrities, was to sit in our own stuff, like to sit with ourselves and really say, like, who are you? Make yourself whole, figure out what you need to do to refine your brand, refine your heart, refine your soul, refine your mental health. And I just took time to do all that. You know, I took time to work on all that. And I just love to see everything that's happening with, you know, us marching and people actually seeing it. The news was forced to put the marching on the news because there was nothing else on the news. There was
Period.
So I just felt like there was nothing else for me to do but work on myself. I couldn't distract myself with work. I couldn't distract myself with going to the club. I couldn't distract myself with turning up with homies. So I just had that time to really work on myself, really say like, okay, it's cool that you're on these red carpets. It's cool that you're interviewing these celebrities. It's cool that you're doing all these things. But like, why?
Right.
And that why is like what has driven me so far during this time. So, and that why, of course, like I said before, my earlier tangent is what's going to continue to drive you. So being able to rediscover my why is what COVID has done for me.
Wow.
That's not very, very well said, man. I want to thank you guys. I really, really appreciate you guys all.
Thank you.
We're going to keep this conversation going offline because I think it's very important. On the behalf of the MILLSUMMIT Influencers Lab, myself and my guys, Malcolm and Kenyon and AC, we thank you, and we see you guys on the flip side.
All right,
Deuces.
Right. Thank you for having us.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.